Again, white on black text.
Yeah, but it's got a stroke, so it's better.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, she's the villain.
Yep.
She's very talented in other movies.
You guys don't know how excited for this one I actually am.
The fridge happens early on. I just want to let you know.
This is the one that I know like nothing about except one thing.
Afraid that goes for you too, Colonel, sir. The Pentagon sent out revised...
That's weird. He's not Kate Blanchett.
Unless he is Kate Blanchett.
Pulls out like a Mission Impossible mask.
Простите!
Well, okay. Why is that the hairstyle that gets chosen for every one of these movies?
It's bad guy hair.
That's not bad guy hair. It's just bad hair.
Here.
I learned this trick from Temple of Doom.
Kalima.
Formerly the worst Indiana Jones movie. Now it's probably this one.
You're a hard man to read, Dr. Joe.
You didn't do anything.
We've been down your 10,000 Adventures relics here, and we decided that we want this one.
We've already filed out the Han Solos and the Rick Deckards.
If it's still magnetic, metal in this gunpowder should point the way.
That's not magnetized at all. That's just magic.
Why isn't everything else that's metal in this building
Flying directly toward it.
Yeah, like the lights.
All 10,000 Adventures, not metal objects.
Fun fact, the Ark of the Covenant has metal on it.
Now, in theory, this would be really cool of Indy slowly disarming all of his enemies by taking all of their gunpowder.
It would be really funny.
But that's not what's happening.
It's a good thing that they're looking for the one thing that attracts all metal from any part of anywhere in this
But not the
warehouse.
lights.
Sure would suck if they needed any other object except the one that's really easy to find.
Why aren't there guns sticking to it?
Look, now the lights are sticking to it.
They weren't earlier.
What? They were what?
They were deterred by the small box.
Yes, teeny
the
box.
fucking, like, 4-inch piece of wood.
Look at the guns on their backs, not moving.
No, they are now.
No, those.
No, they
Why, Mac? Well, what can I say, Jonesy? I'm a capitalist, and they pay.
That is the exact same reason Ego worked for Dracula instead of Frankenstein and Van Helsing.
All right, all of these spry young men can't catch 80-year-old Harrison Ford.
Oh no, all of the ancient artifacts that belong in a museum.
Oh no, the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh no, the Ark of the Covenant.
It actually...
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that.
Thank God it was only a shot, though. I would have hated it if someone was like, "What's that?" And Indy's like, "Don't even talk about that one."
Why was that light so low?
A Star Wars story.
Oh, this is where they turned Logan into Wolverine.
Ah, they activated the self-destruct button.
We all know that if you throw a human body at 80 buttons, it activates self-destruct in exactly 30 seconds.
This is the only part of the movie that I've seen. It's the best part.
I'm fine.
He's good.
All right,
Look, his shirt is a little ripped.
that fridge should have had jelly Harrison Ford in it.
He's also like 20 feet from a nuclear explosion.
Yeah,
There's
wait a
the
minute.
mushroom
Why did
cloud.
you get out of the fridge?
He's got like pentacancer.
Oh, they're wiping away the cancer and bruises and broken ribs.
Good thing you already have a kid, sir. I have a what?
What exactly am I being accused of besides surviving a nuclear blast?
We are all definitely accusing you of doing that.
Yeah, that is illegal.
Mostly asking how the fuck.
Indefinite leave of absence,
You are firing
during
me.
which they've agreed to continue to pay your full salary for
I
a
don't
period.
want their money.
Dude, he's offering him the money of working without working. That's just unemployment, but completely.
He's also like a tenured professor with like at least 2 decades of experience. He probably makes bank.
Yeah. Why would you ever be like, I don't want their money? Yes, take their money.
Well, see, Harrison Ford doesn't like money. He likes sitting at home doing nothing.
No, if he did, he'd accept their deal. He gets to.
Like literally that dude was like, Indiana served in the war. He's a war hero. He's done so much for this country. What the fuck's wrong with you? And the FBI guys are like, he's suspicious. Of what?
Of being nuked in a fridge. That's just...
That is sus.
That is
Yeah.
very sus to me.
This is going to be the most heartbreaking shot. Look at that.
Ah.
He just passed
shit.
away.
As we would all say, rest in peace.
This kid brought a motorcycle onto a train platform.
It is the 50s. This is kind of likely behavior.
Yeah, there's no TSA.
Also, look, there's a train behind him there, But there wasn't a train behind him in the other shot.
It's fine.
No, it isn't.
What about him?
You're gonna kill him.
Wait, it glossed over how he cut off the moving train?
I jumped.
He just jumped out of the window.
He's not good.
He's great in Holes.
I don't like Holes, actually.
What?
Slaps?
Don't like the book, don't like the movie.
Holes and the book are both great.
I agree.
Book and movie are great.
Jake, you can't read.
Ian, you're just full of hatred. You know that? You don't like good things.
Oh, it says the guy who doesn't like The Outsiders. All right.
You like Green Lantern.
You like Speed Racer.
Francisco de Orellana disappeared into the Amazon looking for it in 1546.
Dude, Mutt looked so fucking uninterested, and I feel it. Indy's gone. How is he? No.
Did the old ones make sense? Because
Yes.
I'd argue more sense than that.
Want to be a good archaeologist? You gotta get out of the library.
That's not true. You were in the library when you found the fucking clue.
Crusade, yeah.
Yeah.
I hate movies.
hey, they're doing the thing.
I gotta say, I love this.
I love the thing.
This is just classic.
Be weird if they didn't do the thing. So I'm glad.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if they didn't do the thing.
Oh shit, it's in Patorno, fucker.
Cradle has another meaning in Mayan. Literally, it means resting place, as in final resting place.
That's such a shit line of dialogue.
Well, George Lucas does have a writing credit on this film.
Does he?
Yes.
One of the scorpions just stung me. Am I gonna die?
How big?
Huge.
Good.
Good.
Comes to scorpions, the bigger the better.
You know, I really, really like the last one because of the interactions between Indy and his dad. I really, really don't think this one's good because of the interactions between Indy and Shia.
I think it's all right.
It's just there. They
It-
kinda just
it-
talk
it's
at each
not,
other.
It's not bad though. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I mean, yeah, the one line of dialogue with the resting place sucked, but it's fine.
I think really some of the dialogue is very stilted.
Yeah. It's not as interesting.
I'll
I feel
concede
like
that.
there's not a lot between these two characters. Like between him and his dad, there was so much tension built up over the last.
I agree that him and his dad is better, but I don't think this is bad.
Yeah, I just feel like the supporting cast in every other indie film
It's
is just better. He just plays off them better.
him and
and-
Short Round play off each other really well.
I disagree.
That's
Well,
fine to be wrong.
That's fine. It's your
Um,
opinion. I think he has way better interactions with Short Round than
I
with
agree.
Shia. There's more
Him and his
chemistry.
dad, him and Short Round.
Well,
Um,
see, Shia isn't frustrating me like a lot of what Short Round's dialogue did.
Yeah, Short Round never frustrated me.
Nah, me either.
Mutt reminds me a lot of Willie Scott in the sense that Mutt doesn't have a real like foot in the game.
Right, but Mutt's not like annoying and terrible at everything that Mutt does, you know? Like Willie was.
Exactly. I'm not
Oh,
not
yeah,
trying
no.
to make them out to be the exact same character. I just think it's interesting because Indy always plays better with characters who understand what's going on, if that makes sense.
That's
Because
true.
Willie's fucking terrible. She's the worst of his companions.
I think it's because Indy's so intelligent, and if he's with someone that's not as intelligent, he's just stuck explaining things to them a lot.
Exactly. It's all just exposition.
What were they looking for?
Why did they not do that prior?
See, yeah, the fucking magic maglav
Oh,
shit.
the logic in this movie is fucking awful.
Crystal's not magnetic.
Neither's gold.
Okay, so they pointed it out in the movie. That still doesn't help much, though.
I think they're trying to explain what's happening. It's a supernatural thing.
I like it better than saying it's magnetic, which he did at the beginning of the movie. I forgot to mention in Last Crusade, but Indy's presence doesn't matter. Because if he didn't bring the book back to his dad in the other country, they would have never found the Grail, or they'd find the Grail and all die again. It's the greatest problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Hear me out.
It matters in the sense that he saved his dad.
They would have went to the house, got the book anyway,
They
because
would,
he mailed it to him.
but they weren't going to in America, were they?
They would have ended up going there.
But they
He
didn't.
mailed it to him. They would have eventually.
He mailed it away from the country to get it out of their hands.
Yes, and you know how easy it
Also,
is to
I'm
go
gonna
to the
argue
place?
Indy's presence mattered in the fact that he saved his dad's life.
See, I was going to say Indy's presence mattered in the fact that all you need to do is send expendable Nazis into there until you get the right cup.
But then the temple collapsed.
I still think that more importantly, he saves his dad's life.
I'll concede that. In that sense, yeah. So partial credit.
More than Raiders.
So by that logic, he's half useful in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Let's see how useful he is here.
And when you think about it, logically speaking, since Temple is a prequel, He's only technically useful in the first movie.
In part of the third.
The skull's crystal stimulates an undeveloped part of the human brain.
Oh, that's all of Ian's brain.
All of my brain's overdeveloped. It's called autism. Predator wants to steal it.
They weren't you, honey.
She wants him.
Oh yeah. It's the classic thing. I think they're bringing this back from Raiders really well.
See, but like the interactions between Indy and Marion, to get back to what I was saying about Indy and Mutt, like they have great chemistry.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's not just explaining everything.
Well,
to
he
her.
did just
They're
explain what they had to do to her, but like not in an annoying way.
It just feels so organic and natural as an extension of Raiders with their chemistry. You know, like it feels like a movie that ages them up, and it's not like this weird, like out of character thing. It's totally fitting.
It feels like they're just trying to force the son thing a little bit.
Well,
because
yeah.
they need a new
The
guy.
movie wants to force
Yeah.
the son thing,
Because
Yeah.
they need a new Indiana Jones. This one's old. We need money.
even though they're not bringing him back for the fifth one, I guess.
But he also just made Honey Boy, so everyone's riding his honey pot.
I would argue that this is a good scene.
I'd also argue this is a good scene.
Yeah. There are good scenes. It's just not as interesting as the other ones.
There's a giant gun! Why are you getting up to go for round 2 with the swords? It's not like scenes overall, it's just bits in scenes that make it a bit just
Campy.
over the top.
I think it's campy.
Like, if they left out the part where Shia LaBeouf swung on vines like a monkey.
See, I think my favorite 2 of the original trilogy are the campiest ones. You know what I mean?
What, 1 and 3?
1 and 3. There's an element of camp to them, especially the third one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but it never feels like it.
He caught up to them, swinging on vines just meaninglessly through the jungle.
movie tried to make it so that they went around a long bend and he went directly there. But how could he have timed where they're going to be?
Oh, he hive minds the ants. Slapping.
That is spectacular.
I don't believe that Harrison Ford could beat this man in a fight.
I didn't believe he could beat the boxer in the first one.
To be fair, he killed them with a plane.
That was a really good tensioned fight scene because it wasn't about who has the best punches. It was about who falls first.
See, it's just not how ants work.
Marion, how on earth did you know that?
See, it's shit like this
Yeah, that's dumb.
that crosses the line. You know, people have died from going over Niagara Falls.
They have like 3 Niagara Falls, and the third one is like 7 Niagara Falls tied together.
Are these supposed to be the same people who attacked them in Peru? Because we never got an explanation for those
Are they in the
freaks.
same location?
No.
No, that's the weird part.
The palace. The obelisk. The obelisk is the key.
You know what's nice? Harrison Ford cares. He's actually doing
A good job.
really
He's
good
acting,
job as
yeah.
Indy. You would expect like a Bruce Willis where he just shows up for a paycheck, but he actually cares. It's probably why he wants Indy 5 so hard.
He likes making them.
He
you
loves
know?
it.
Like, everyone always says that Harrison Ford doesn't care anymore. It's like he doesn't care about movies he doesn't want to make.
Like Star Wars Force Awakens.
In episode 7 and shit.
You look at, like, Blade Runner 2049 or this, like, he actually likes these characters.
Yeah.
He's bringing an element to them that wasn't there before. I would even say Shia is doing a good job with what he's given.
I think Shia is doing a good job. I just don't think the interactions between them are well written.
I don't think he's doing bad. Don't think he's doing fantastic, but I don't like their interactions very
Yeah,
much.
I think that part is poorly written.
A good thing they were 5 feet away from the water at that
Yeah, I was
point.
gonna say, like, you don't have to get all the way down. Just get down low enough.
Like, this guy's so obviously not with them, it hurts. How did they not notice? Indy's smart.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He didn't know Elsa wasn't with them, but she clearly wasn't with them
Yeah,
either.
but he got pussy from that.
You're right. Maybe
he's
he's
like
getting
Bond.
pussy.
He was smart until there was a female involved.
You just put the skull up against the door.
A good key.
Which means they couldn't have made this until, like, the aliens were dead and they knew how the skull actually, like, was shaped. It's so stupid.
This movie has been regarded as one of the worst ever. I strongly disagree.
It's fine. It's not good, but it's fine.
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
I'd say borderline good.
It's my favorite one. Fuck Raiders.
I'm giving it an 11.
Fuck Last Crusade. This is the
I
best.
mean, it has its issues. It's way too campy, and I'm not a fan of the whole alien thing.
The alien thing doesn't bother me.
I don't mind. And
Um,
I'll tell you why at the end. I want to get there, but, there's a lot I have to say.
The fact that the studios tried to replace Indiana Jones with his own son makes the movie script-wise worse, because I think that's stupid.
Belief, Dr. Jones, is a gift you have yet to receive.
I like how that guy's leaning forward. Like, can I have that back?
It wants to give us a gift.
It's a nuke. Get in the fridge.
I don't know if we're all silent in awe or just confusion.
A little bit of both.
Like how it's affecting everything in front of them, but not them.
They're right at the line. You see? That's the line right there where everything's affected.
Like his hat should have been blown off his head.
No, there's a line.
In other news, the temple disappeared in Maya. We don't know why. More at 11.
Marvelous. Perfect. Make the letters bigger. Much bigger.
How is it perfect if you want it bigger?
So this was the scene that Sala and Short Round were supposed to cameo in.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't come back.
No, that would have made sense if they did.
Yeah.
Of all the people to be cameoing at the wedding of Indiana.
Yeah,
I'm just saying John Rhys Davies was like, I don't want to come back just for 3 seconds. That's not what Sala does.
It's like the funeral at the end of Endgame. Like, the kid from Iron Man 3 showed up because
Yeah, but that kid is not John Rhys Davies.
Right,
That's true.
but he would be there, and so would John Rhys Davies.
John Rhys Davies was too busy voting leave on Brexit. It's so stupid.
So forced. I hate it.
Man, they thought they were going to make a franchise out of that, man. Out of 10.
I mean, it's not a bad film.
I agree.
It's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
It is, however, miles below the original trilogy.
Absolutely, and in my personal opinion, it is the worst of the 4.
Yes.
With
it is.
that said, though, I'm going to lead with my score. I'm going to give this movie a 7.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed myself. I think it's just those extra moments on the side. If you just trim it out, you really have a good movie here. Like, the chase through the Amazon is fantastic. And then the fight with the ants, that all feels like classic indie to me. But then Marion just floors it and jumps into a tree, and the tree lowers them down to the water. It's just, that's too much.
The logic leaps ruin a lot of those scenes for me.
That's part of my
the
point.
ant fight and the climactic tension in that scene is great.
Yeah.
But that's not how ants work, so I'm like, this is dumb the whole time.
I mean, yeah, but that's also like, the spider and Doctor No. It's like, that's not how a spider works. But that's not my biggest problem with them. I get why it bothers you. It doesn't bother me personally, though.
Well, it doesn't make the scenes bad. That
Also,
ant fight's great, and there's
just-
a lot of climactic tension, but it's just that little stupid nugget in there that I'm like, ah.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's
Yep.
just those little stupid things that are also happening. They're just like, this is not as good as the scene could be. Less is more. Also, I don't think the interactions between Mutt and Indy are that well written.
I'm piping in right now. You guys have talked too much. Here's the thing. Well, first of all, I want to actually add to your points a little bit. I was going back and forth towards the end whether I liked it better than Temple of Doom or not.
No.
I regard them very similarly. This one, I was going to give it a 7 and kind of call them comparable. But the logic leaps. I'm just going to say it's a 6. It is a 6 out of 10. Were it not for all the dumb logic leaps in this movie, that would bump up the score. Because I think this is a really solid advancement of specifically Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I think that it works in that way, especially with all the scenes with Marion, all of their interactions on screen, the way they get married at the end.
Oh,
after
they have
bickering.
great chemistry on
Yeah.
that. The actress who plays Marion,
Yep.
I think it's Karen Allen, I think is her name.
Great
They're
chemistry,
great.
great writing, great acting, great directing in those segments. I really appreciate a lot of what this movie is trying to do. I also hate
A lot of what this movie
a lot of what
does.
this movie does. But I don't hate the movie. I think it's overall, I'm leaning with Mud. It's a solid movie. I'm going to give it a 6.
I think a 5.5. It's not quite a 6, but I can't give it the mid. I know I don't like to split scores actually, but I'm stuck between a 5 and a 6. It's very whelming for a lot of it, and there are some great scenes, but they still have that nugget of dumb in them, like we mentioned. Shia LaBeouf doesn't do a bad job. I don't think his character is super interesting. I do not
Mutt's
like.
very boring.
I do not like the changing of the guard that a lot of movies try. They tried it with Mission Impossible. Dumb.
They tried it with the Bourne Identity.
Yep. They try it in all of these things, and every single time it doesn't work. Making him his son. It's cool that he has a kid, because he probably would have a kid. He fucks. Indiana Jones fucks.
Absolutely.
But, like, trying to make it so he's this cool adventuring leather jacket bike fucking Indiana Jones. Like, it just doesn't work.
Who Mutt is as a character is not who the lead of an Indiana Jones franchise should be.
No.
He's a support.
Yes.
You
no.
know?
And
he's a colorful support character.
out of all the support characters, he's one of the most boring ones, too.
I'd put him as the second. I don't want to say worst, because I only think Willie Scott is a bad support.
But he's average. Sala's great. I like Short Round. I like Marion.
Brody's great.
Yep.
Dr. Jones is S+ tier.
Oh, Sean Connery more like tier of his own. He's
Yeah.
in the S tier.
Like, I think the only companion of Indy's who I would rank below Mutt
that
Williams
fucking
is
annoying bitch.
Willie Scott.
She's so
just
annoying.
so fucking annoying.
This is
Yeah.
really interesting because this might be the only Thon where we all like all of the movies in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably the only
Like,
one.
I would not say I dislike Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I find it weird, though. I gave it the highest score, but coming into this, I was the one dreading watching this the most.
Dude, I was so excited because there's the best scene in all
Yeah,
of
I
Indiana
know,
Jones
I
in
know,
it.
I know. Can you stop talking about the fridge now?
But even that's dumb logic. Now,
It's-
it might work in
It's
real life.
also
We don't
just-
know.
Again, it's also in my point the gratuitous stuff. It's like why did they feel the need to put that in the film? You know what's funny? Both Spielberg and Lucas have both separately tried to be like, don't blame the other guy. It was my idea to do the fridge, which means it
Really?
was both of their ideas.
That's so funny.
George Lucas defends it all the time. He's like, they could work in real life.
It could.
It could.
It
They
could.
did like
Mythbusters
did they do
tested it.
Mythbusters? Yeah.
They said the odds are, quote, about 50-50. But the point isn't whether or not it's
whether or not he survives the
realistic.
explosion, it's whether or not he survives it flying around, fucking whiplashing
No,
around.
it's not even about that. It's just about the point of it being in the movie.
The thing
Why?
is, big dumb blockbustery. If the movie is not big and dumb, it's boring.
Did they nuke something on Mythbusters?
No, but they can.
They did radiation. I think they exposed it to high levels of radiation or something.
Yeah, they wanted to see if the radiation would get into the lead line fridge, and I think they also yoed it.
Yeah, they launched. I think they launched it with like a catapult or something.
They
Right.
did like 2 separate
Yeah.
tests that
Yep.
combined. You know, they did not draw. Like Mythbusters had some weird shit, but they never were like, we have a nuclear bomb. We're gonna test
They don't have the budget for that one.
Adam Savage with a nuclear bomb.
Yes,
That is a Bond villain right there. Adam Savage with a nuclear bomb.
it really is.
New James Bond movie idea.
Overall thoughts of the Indiana Jones movies, because I haven't seen them.
Yeah,
since I
let's
was
do
a
all
child.
4 of them. I think it's a really solid series.
I think there's 2 that clearly stand above the others.
Oh yeah, 1 and 3.
If
1 and
someone's
3.
never seen them, I would show them all 4.
Yeah,
I would as
it.
well.
I would not mind showing them Crystal Skull at all.
Even if they don't like it, it's like, well,
It's a conversation point too. You can talk
yeah.
about what works and what doesn't in it. And I
Yeah.
think that
'Cause
works.
I
well.
think it's interesting because like Crusade and Raiders are very similar films. They both deal with Christian iconography
Yep.
and Nazis. And then the other 2, Temple and Kingdom, deal with more like
Mayan stuff.
Mayan,
Voodoo, shit
voodoo
like that.
kind of like non-Christian white Nordic
Yeah.
stuff.
I will
Yeah.
say the inclusion of aliens totally fits because all 3 other movies are weird and fantastical in what they do.
That is a hot take.
In the second one, he ripped the heart out of a human being.
yeah. So aliens is a totally appropriate here.
Completely reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm.
I, however, would have rathered this movie be them finding it, that original expedition that he was talking about, finding the alien body at first.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because he was like, I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. Like,
So you would have liked him to be Indiana Jones and the crash at Roswell.
yeah,
'Cause that's what he was
kinda.
referencing. He's referencing the Roswell space incident.
I think that'd be super interesting. Because imagine the tension in those moments. I think that's cool.
You know what else I just thought of? Much like the Mummy movies, the sequel after a couple years takes place post World War II, where they're like a war hero now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Technically, The Mummy 2017 is the 4th one because it has the book in it.
It does.
They just don't address
they're,
it.
They're the same series.
They are
Boo.
the same world.
Boo.
But more importantly, and this is my final point, Indy's presence does not matter at all.
It does not. I was thinking
It
about
is
that
the
during the
same
climax.
Yeah.
thing as Raiders, where the villains either never find the aliens or they find them and all die.
He's 1 for 3.
You
1.5 for 3 if we want to be generous.
1.5 out of 4.
That's one thing I do not like about this trilogy. I was actually going to bring up. The villains just die. Like, Indy never really stops any of them.
I
To
agree.
be fair, Indy's not a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could, like, stop them and get them arrested or
And
something.
again,
I mean,
Temple, the only one where he's important, the only one where he kills a villain.
He does very.
He
directly kill
definitively
that man.
kills that evil guy by doing that.
It doesn't bother me though.
It doesn't bother me, but I just think it's weird.
It's just weird because, like, now that I've noticed it in Raiders and I've gone back, I'm like,
Can't
wait a
not
minute.
Notice it, like it's a meme in Raiders. It should be a meme for the entire fucking series.
It is. It totally is. Like Temple's the only one where his presence is relevant to the story.
Like saving his dad, that's a side quest in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things.
I'll
for
give you
Crusade.
the 0.5 in the last
That's
Crusade.
a partial credit because that's not really what he's.
That's his main quest, but the movie's side
That's
quest.
what I'm saying. It's again, it's like a side quest in a video game. It's like save the Holy Grail, save your dad.
I wonder if the 5th one is gonna have Indy's presence matter to the plot of
I
the
hope
movie.
it doesn't at this.
I
point.
hope it doesn't because he's gonna be 8,000 years old.
That's true. That's true.
Like, can I film Indiana Jones from my house?
It's weird because, like, the moral of the movies, all 4 of them, is that important shit shouldn't be tampered with, and I totally understand.
He
that's-
absolutely tampers with
But
important
that
shit.
leads to that trope of Indy's not the one who kills everyone. The people tampering with them doom themselves.
I like that though.
It's a common theme.
I like it. I just think it's weird.
It spawns this weird trope of him just not being
And
important.
then everyone's like, "We need Indy. He's our best man." It's like, is he your best man because he's the only one who doesn't die?
They need him to find out where the thing is, and then they
and
go
then they
kill
double cross him.
And then they go and die. Yeah,
Like the fucking.
they're like committing extreme suicide.
The Ark of the Covenant killed all of them. The Chalice fucking destroyed everything.
And then the
And then
aliens.
in this movie, the aliens just iced everybody.
That was amazing. This is a solid series. I love it all the more for it, though. It's just really funny to talk about.
I just really like how there's the original trilogy that everyone reveres and it's amazing. And then the one movie that's not in there, people are like, oh, it's dog shit, zero, brr, brr, brr. Can Lucasfilms get a fucking break?
Well, hold on. What would we give the whole series out of 10? I would lean towards either an 8. No, never mind, just an 8.
I'd go with 9.
The whole series?
The whole series.
I gave 2 9s, a 7, and like a 5 or a 6.
So you're probably around a 7
7.5,
or an
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd go with 9. I mean, Crusade and Raiders are two of my favorite films ever. I like Temple, and I tolerate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I don't hate Crystal.
I don't hate it. So I'd say probably around 9, just because like when people were like, "Oh, what's your favorite film series?" I would put Indiana Jones. I'd be like, "Oh, Indiana
It's
Jones."
also so short. I wanted to talk about this last time too, but I kind of wish that.
Don't say you kind of wish they make a 5th one because they're working on it.
No. Better. I kind of wish that like every 3 or 4 years they just kept making new ones after the 3rd one. So we'd have a James Bond level series of like 15 movies with Harrison Ford in the lead role. And now when he's this old, it totally fits because we've seen a million adventures.
And I feel
prior.
like at this point they would have already found a new guy. And
Yeah.
he probably would actually be on the way out.
Absolutely.
And they'd have the 3rd guy.
You could have it generationally like that and have it actually work.
Who would have been the 90s?
Adam Driver.
Brendan Fraser.
Wait, the Mummy movies, yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
If they kept doing Indiana Jones, Mummy never would have happened.
Indiana Jones and the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Boom.
I would
combine the franchises.
Indiana Jones and the Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
Those would be good movies.
Those would be good
though.
movies.
Like, I know we're saying it as a joke, but like, if you combine like the good writing of Indiana Jones with the fun that the Brendan Fraser movies are,
Yup.
at the end of the day, even if they're not that good,
Yeah.
holy shit, that would have been great.
They so fit. They fit
Dude,
so well.
Brendan Fraser's young Indy, like his
I
sidekick,
love Brendan Fraser.
I'd buy
that would have been great.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Oh my
completely.
God. Like, I was like, who would have been? Duh, it's Brendan Fraser.
Yep. 2 different studios though, so we'd never see
Who cares?
that,
And
but-
then the new kid would probably be Tom Holland.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Well,
Uncharted.
no, he's Uncharted.
Yeah, he's everything now.
He's Chris Pratt from a couple years ago. Ah, just put Chris Pratt in.
Well, we'll catch you guys in Never for the 5th one.
For the DCEU-thon.
Ugh.